always, let's get right into things. So there has been a bunch of things going on surrounding racism and online, fans online or trolls online. And listen, man, y'all need to grow up. Y'all need to grow up. For one, I'm not with racism toward anyone, no matter what their race is or any of that. I'm not with it, period. Okay? But to sit there and try to throw all of this on Caitlin Clark, I think is absolutely disgusting. I think it's being done intentionally.
Minnesota Lynx guard Courtney Williams has continued to speak openly in support of Caitlin Clark, pushing back against what she sees as unfair accusations of racism aimed at Clark and her fan base. Williams has been consistent in showing support for Clark, describing her as a standout talent and rejecting the idea that Clark should be blamed for the behavior of anonymous online accounts.
Absolutely disgusting. I think it's being done intentionally. And Courtney Williams has been the one to lay out the blueprint on how to handle this. Courtney Williams has laid out the blueprint on how to handle this. And it seems like a bunch of other players are having a really hard time following. Before I get to her main thing, let's take a look at this.
The internet is not a real place. So I think when you treat the internet like a real place, that's when you get everybody like, oh my God. But it's like, bro, you don't know these people in real life. Just press the block button, bro. Just press the block.
Williams has repeatedly made the point that online harassment shouldn't be treated as a reflection of real-world relationships or fan bases. Her stance has been that people receiving hostile messages from anonymous accounts should simply block them and move on, rather than publicly framing every incident as evidence of a broader racist movement.
But it's like, bro, you don't know these people in real life. Just press the block button, bro. Just press the block button and then move on. Like,
just press the block button and move on. Like, is it like y'all are doing, everybody's running around trying to get some victim award. Y'all are taking serious accounts that have SpongeBob as the main photo. Like, what are y'all doing? Okay. And then you guys are getting these messages throughout all types of games, but you only go public and talk about it when somebody after an Indiana Fever game, an online account says.
She's argued that many of these hostile messages actually come from sports bettors upset about losing wagers tied to player performance, a pattern that has also affected other athletes across leagues, including NBA players who've spoken publicly about similar betting-related harassment. Her point is that this kind of behavior isn't unique to Clark's fan base and shouldn't automatically be labeled as racially motivated.
An online account says something to you. It's ridiculous. Take a look at Courtney Williams once again responding to a troll.
That's a voice message. Hey, bitch. You don't play for Chicago, so I can't even come to a game and smack the shit out your dyke ass.
Now, this is an online troll. Now, these are bettors. These are not Caitlin Clark fans. These are people that are betting on games and getting upset when the player doesn't win them their prop bait. The same.
In one instance shown in the discussion, Williams received a hostile, insulting voice message from an anonymous account. Rather than framing it as representative of a fan base, she responded directly to the individual and moved on, without publicly tying the incident to any particular player's supporters.
And win them their prop bait. The same thing, their prop bet. The same thing happened to Kevin Durant. The same thing happened to Jaylen Brown, former Boston Celtic, now 76er. He even spoke on this with people harassing him because of betting. That does not make them all racist Caitlin Clark fans. It's disgusting what y'all are trying to do.
But listen, though, motherfuckers putting hard-earned money from my job on your ass for you to get 2 assists, bitch. And your ass out here, you only got 1 assist.
A separate clip shows her receiving criticism tied to a lost prop bet, where she responded directly rather than escalating the situation into a broader narrative. This is contrasted with an incident involving Aces guard Chelsea Gray, who publicly shared a hostile message she received after a game against Indiana, implying it came from Clark's fan base.
Job on your ass for you to get 2 assists, bitch. And your ass out here, you only got 1 assist. How the fuck is you a point guard?
Now that is a bettor. That is somebody who was betting and lost money on Courtney Williams. Instead of just blocking him, she said, I'm going to troll you back this time.
Broke ass bitch, you. If you don't get out my motherfucking DMs, you broke bitch. I ain't even click on your page and you look dirty as fuck. Ugly ass boy. Now you getting blocked, you little broke bitch. I hope I lose you some more money.
Critics point out that Gray had reportedly received similarly hostile comments after other games not involving Indiana or Clark, but didn't make those public in the same way. Additionally, it's noted that the individual responsible for one of the more offensive messages had no apparent connection to Indiana Fever fandom online, and was reportedly identified as a sports bettor from Texas rather than a Clark-specific supporter.
Bitch, I hope I lose you some more money.
She trolled him back and said, now you're getting blocked. She didn't say, oh, these are the racist Caitlin Clark fans. She didn't run to do that. That is what Chelsea Gray, however, decided to do. Chelsea Gray said, this is the message I received after our game versus Indy yesterday. All right? Implying that, oh, the racist Caitlin Clark fans are added online again. The racist Caitlin Clark fans are added online again. But you know what, Chelsea?
The criticism here is that tying every hostile message to Clark's fanbase without verifying its source unfairly shapes public perception. The discussion then shifts to commentary from broadcaster Dan Dakich, referencing a piece by writer Bobby Burak that attempts to explain why Clark has faced hostility from some players and commentators around the league.
The racist Caitlin Clark fans are added online again, but you know what Chelsea Gray didn't do? She didn't go public after this game, which was not after a Caitlin Clark Indiana Fever game. They're calling her trash. You can't even walk normally. What are you here for? You are not good. You're an idiot monkey. Now, none of this stuff is okay. Calling people monkeys, none of that is okay. But these statements happened after a game that did not involve Caitlin Clark in the Indiana Fever. Why didn't you make these statements?
The piece argues, and this is presented as the writer's viewpoint, not a settled fact, that part of the tension stems from Clark not aligning herself publicly with certain political or identity-based causes that have become associated with the league's public messaging in recent years, and suggests that some players and commentators expected her to take on that kind of advocacy role. The piece contrasts this with Paige Buecher's, suggesting she has been more willing to publicly align herself with those causes, which the writer argues has contributed to more favorable treatment from parts of the league and media compared to Clark.
13 games. And we got to point out every flaw she got going on right now. Right off the bat, she going out there just knocking down threes in everybody's faces, by the way. Making Hall of Fame kind of passes. But nah. Oh, but the Paige Beckers. Oh, but the Angel Reese. Oh, but the anybody. Oh, but the Asia Wilson. All the while, the regular sports fan that showed up and said, that woman.
The commentary agrees with the broader idea that Clark's rise has significantly increased visibility for the sport, and suggests that differences in media and league treatment between Clark and Buecher's may be tied to factors beyond basketball itself, including Buecher's UConn ties, though it stops short of fully detailing every reason it claims is behind the disparity.
All the while, the regular sports fan that showed up and said, that woman, that young lady's very intriguing. I was watching her. I caught her playing for this Iowa team. I started watching her. Holy crap. The atmosphere was unbelievable. She's clutch. She looks like the makings of an all-time legend. We are all witness from the very beginning. You know, I was young when Jordan came on the scene. I was 10 years old. You know? And yeah, I can remember.
Sports commentator Katie Nolan drew criticism after remarks she made about Caitlin Clark's fanbase during an appearance on a podcast hosted by former WNBA player Sue Bird and retired soccer player Megan Rapinoe.
10 years old. You know? And yeah, I can remember all that. I came up through that. But the first couple of years are hazy. We're right here. We're on the ground floor of witnessing greatness. And the people involved with the WNBA, women's sports, these women's sports champions, they don't want regular sports fans involved. And they've used every excuse. We'll call them homophobic. We'll call them.
Nolan, who has worked across several sports media outlets and platforms since 2011, currently hosts a podcast called Casuals through SiriusXM.
Racist. Well, we're bound to get them out of here. Guys, I've said this prior. I'll say it again. The fact that I know I am the burr in these people's asses motivates me to keep watching and covering this, to be honest. I mean, that has motivated me as much as anything else.
During the podcast appearance, Nolan discussed what she described as growing pains in the 1BA this season, saying some new fans appeared to be drawn to the league specifically because of one player, Clark, in a way she felt was at odds with the broader women's basketball fan community.
That has motivated me as much as anything else. So, another champion of woke BS over the years is one Katie Nolan. Now, if that name sounds kind of familiar, somewhat familiar, it might be because she's been on every sports network in existence. Why? Because whatever she seems to come out with, and good God, I made the mistake of bringing up her Wikipedia page.
She described the intensity of that fan support as something that could feel like hate disguised as love, directed at the rest of the league, and said longtime fans have had to adjust to newer fans entering the conversation.
I was like, how many different shows and podcasts and crap over the years has she had? She's just been active since 2011. Crowd Goes Wild, No Filter, Touchdown and Injury, Garbage Time with Katie Nolan, Garbage Time Podcast with Katie Nolan, Sports Center on Snapchat, Always Late with Katie Nolan. All these different shows. You know why there's so many different shows? It's because they all keep failing.
The comments drew pushback from critics, who argued Nolan's remarks unfairly characterized Clark's fanbase and downplayed the role new viewers have played in boosting the league's visibility and television ratings this season.
It's because they all keep failing. And it's because of these kind of garbage-ass bullshit takes. She currently hosts the SiriusXM podcast Casuals. Now, guys, I like to go for walks. It's kind of my cardio, along with my weight training, and I go out. I like to walk outside, and I always listen to different podcasts. Well, a lot of times they will advertise a new podcast.
Critics also pointed to friction between Clark and some opposing players on the court as a legitimate source of fan frustration, rather than dismissing it as unwarranted hostility.
To listen to different podcasts. Well, a lot of times they will advertise a new podcast. I just heard this one advertise. Casuals with Kaylee Nolan. Have you ever wondered why blah, 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 don't take sports that seriously, blah, blah, blah? And I'm like, you created a sports podcast hoping that sports fans would listen to a podcast, but you don't want it to be hardcore fans. But, okay. I mean, that sounds destined to crash and burn. But okay, that's fine, whatever.
The exchange reflects a broader ongoing debate within WNBA media coverage over how to characterize the surge of new fans who began following the league during Clark's rookie season, and how existing fans and commentators have responded to that shift.